You are all welcome to Engine 2 Closeout and the International Day of the Girl Child 2020.
Yes, today is our day. Engine Girls, today is our day. Please sit down, relax as we take you through.
Please let's all be on our feet as we recite the second stanza of the national anthem as our opening prayers. 1, 2, start. O Lord of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and true. Great love in hearts attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you. Let's all have our seats.
Thank you once again. Our team, My Voice, Our Equal Future. Educating Nigerian girls in new enterprises. Engine 2 was formed by the UK Department for International Development and Mexico lead the implementation of Engine in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Kaduna with over 18,000 girls. We have 2,000 in Abuja, 29 schools and 27 communities. Engine has impacted our life. We have achieved a lot of things through Engine. They have given us self-esteem. They help us to know our rights. They give us the confidence. That is why we are here.
Yes,
So I would like to call the country director of Mexico, Mr. Indivisi Enough, for welcome address and remarks.
Engine girls.
We are smart.
Engine girls. We don't need to talk about the impact of Engine again. We can see it already. Please, a round of applause for our wonderful conference. So I'm standing here on behalf of Mr. Indubisi Anyanwu, the country director of Mexico, Nigeria, who is unavoidably absent. He sends his regards, he sends his greetings. My name is Abiose Aruna, and my job is very simple. Just to make the welcome remarks, I want to say welcome. So today is a it's a day that has mixed feelings. During the implementation, there were a lot of issues, but it kept us going. And we have come to the end of the implementation, and we look back, and it looked as if we will never get here. But we thank God that we are here today. And on behalf of Mexico and on behalf of the NG2 team, we just want to appreciate every stakeholder, especially our participants, who have been very great and supportive in the course of the implementation of this program. And as we listen to the impact stories, as we listen to the lessons that we have learned, as we listen to the challenges that were, because there were challenges, as we listen to the successes, our prayer and our hope is that this will be sustained beyond even this present time. Thank you all for coming. God bless.
Thank you, Ma, for that wonderful welcome address. Let's put our hands together as we welcome the program director of Engine 2, the person of Mrs. Joy, for Engine 2 implementation and overview. Keep clapping until she gets here. Continue clapping.
Thank you very much. I want us to appreciate our girls again. Like, today is about them. It's International Day of the Girl Child, so it's all about them. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I'll just take 10 minutes to give us an overview. I hope my
presentation is up. Okay, please help with the presentation. So I want to give us an overview of this engine that we're celebrating today. So today actually coincides with our dissemination meeting for the FCT. So we are going to disseminate some of the results, because at the end of our implementation we had an evaluation, an assessment of our work, and the results sheet is, the result scorecard is out. We're going to be seeing our results, because it's our results, because we have all worked together in this past 2 years. Like I mentioned during the press briefing, NG started October 2013, and this is October 2020, so we're talking about a journey of over 7 years. But today we're so happy with the achievements. When we see these girls, we actually, it brings a lot of fulfillment, joy, and we're going to be seeing more of all of the success stories recorded on the program so far. But what I want to just do very shortly is to give like an overview of what Engine is all about. So I'm going to start by saying that sharing with us the vision that we set out to achieve on the Engine 2 program. So the vision of Engine actually seeks to transform the future. So it's not about the now, it's about the future. And we know that anything that will happen in the future, today counts for the future. So the vision of the Engine program was to actually transform the future of over 18,000 marginalized adolescent girls. Adolescent girls, we started on the first phase of the program. Like I mentioned, we started since 2013. We started with 16 to 19-year-olds. But in the second phase, which started in 2017, our girls have moved up. We are working with the same girls on their journey, and the girls have moved up to 17 to 23. So if you hear me say adolescent girls and you hear 17 to 23, don't be confused. It's because of the phases that we've had on the program. So these girls have moved from being adolescent now to young women, and we are so happy about the progress. So you can give me the second slide. That's where I am now. Our intervention was in over 190 communities, specifically 194 peri-urban communities across Kano in 5 LGAs, in Kaduna in 6 LGAs, in Lagos in 5 LGAs, and in the Federal Capital Territory in 2 area councils. The program supported participants to fulfill their potential in education, decent work, and in also social inclusion. And the timeline that this project was implemented in this second phase is from April 2017 till September 2020. Engine is funded by the Department for International Development, UK, previously known as UKAID, now known as FCDO, Foreign Commonwealth. I'm not very sure of the new acronym now, but it's FCDO for the acronym. So, Engine, I want to talk about Engine overview vis-a-vis Mexico's strategy for young people in Nigeria. So, I want to look at what we've done on Engine, but I want to first talk about Mexico. So, if you can go to slide 3. I want to talk about Mexico. So Mexico is an international aid agency. We are in 43 countries across the world. Mexico started in 1979 in Portland in the US. And in Nigeria, we've been around since 2012. And we are in over 15 states in Nigeria, mostly in the north. And Engine is actually one of our programs in the southern part of Nigeria. So Mexico has strategic objective, and one of our pillars actually speaks to young people and empowering young people. And we realize that in Nigeria, oftentimes young people have limited access to skills, especially skills that will support their livelihoods, and they also have limitations around networks that they need to make meaningful livelihoods and influence their community, and also government decision making. To address all of this, Mexico envisioned that young people will report increased income and livelihood if they are supported. They will have increased roles in decision making and increased ability to negotiate decisions that impact on their lives. And this actually summarizes what Engine set out to do. Like I mentioned earlier during the press conference we had earlier today, that even though Engine is an adolescent education program, we have lots of economic components, because that actually helps with retention in school and also help, these girls to be able to contribute to decision making and make meaningful negotiations for their future. So I'm going to be focusing on the economic component of Engine, because I'm sure most of the other people that will speak, including our success stories, will be able to see the other part. Engine is a pot of soup. It has so many beautiful things. The way you have a rich in your pot of soup, that's how Engine is. And so I just want to give you one component of it, which is our economic component. Some of the things we're able to do is that before we started, we had to look at what are the available opportunities. So identify viable businesses within the communities where we are working. We didn't want to import opportunities, but we wanted to leverage on what exists. And the other thing we have to do is to ensure a lot of, and you can even see it in this event, our girls are not just our beneficiaries, they are partners, because without them, the program will not be successful. So we do a lot of girls inclusion. So before we commence our economic component, we have to do what we call the matching interest to work assessment, to know what this girl wants to do, what does she want to do, and then that actually help us to know what opportunities to link her with. We also have to do skills building. We have different aspects to this. In the safe spaces where the girls were meeting, they had to undergo training in business and financial skills and life skills, and also they were linked with our partner vocational training institutes to undergo vocational skills training, and they were also linked with mentors. We have placements for internship and apprenticeship. In the documentary that we're going to watch, you're going to see one of the girls that was placed on internship in a restaurant, and she was able to learn how to take our skills to the next level. We did a lot of placements through our partner networks and employers that we are working with and that we have engaged. We work within the existing structures within the government. So, for example, we worked with the Agency for Mass Education. They are a very big partner on this project because they are responsible for informal education in Nigeria. And since we're working with both girls in school and out of school, it was very necessary to work with them. And that is actually part of our sustainability initiative. Engine has ended, but AME will not end because they will continuously be there. So we've worked together in this past years with AME to support the girls in their informal education, and these girls will continue to attend these centers even beyond the lifetime of the program. We work with existing government policies, the Child Rights Act, on the gender policy, and all the other policies that obtains in the states where we're working. We also integrated girls into male-dominated income generation. Our work is beyond education and economic empowerment. We're also trying to break gender stereotype. To say to a girl, it's not that there are no jobs that a girl can do. Whatever a man can do, if a woman wants to do it, then she can do it. And you see results from this. Some of our girls are plumbers, some of them are painters, some of them are able to do things that are previously considered to be men's kind of job. We prioritize anything that will give them high yields, so high income, and that's what these girls are able to do, especially if it aligns with their interests. We're able to get waiver. So for our girls, we partner with Access Bank and some other banks within the community to open accounts for girls at no cost. So we're able to get some waiver for them to be able, because that also impacts on their financial inclusion. And then we have what we call the electronic ID card that is being facilitated by the National Identity Management Commission, IFC. We were able to also partner with IFC for girls to get this as a means of identity and also as a form of financial inclusion. Everything we've done address the barriers around poverty, forced marriage, low skills, and all of that, and that's what Engine looked at. I want to go over to 3 outcomes of the program: learning transition and sustainability, and to share some of our success stories and learnings across this. And I will hand over the mic. So please let me go to the next slide. I know that I just have about 3 minutes. Next slide, please. So on learning, one of the lessons that was learned around learning is working with existing structures. So I mentioned the fact that we work with AME, and even if the program is no longer there, AME will continuously support girls because we work with this agency, and all the resources within the agencies will continue to be available to support the girls. Activating clusters of learning, whether for teachers or for learners, we'll be able to get girls to provide peer-to-peer learning, and also for facilitators to do same. So we have girls supporting themselves to learn. That's what we call the Girl Fora. So this Girl Fora will continue even after NG, because these are groups that girls have worked with in the past 3 years that are located in the community with their friends and the people they know. So these groups will continue to serve that purpose. Also in the school, we did something innovative in the school. Before now, we know a lot of time due to limited resources, teachers don't go for training as often as they should, and this is very important in their service delivery. So we're able to start what we call the peer-to-peer cluster level training at school level, where teachers are able to come together in small numbers of 3 to 5 to 7, and then they're able to support themselves. So if you're very good in this topic, I can help you to be better in that topic, and vice versa. So providing that peer network. We also have master trainers in the schools that support the teachers. Adaptive management. So that's another thing I want to touch on. During COVID, when schools were closed and our work changed, we didn't stop. Engine didn't stop. We had to look at, okay, what can we do differently? And we're able to employ online virtual learning platforms to continue to reach our girls. So girls who have phones were reached either through SMS or through their WhatsApp. Girls without phones were reached by their peers and by their facilitators. I will go over to the next one on transition. On transition, we have learnings around improving financial inclusion outcomes for marginalized girls. So if a girl has a bank account, sometimes some of the things that we take for granted, we don't know how important these things are in the life of someone that's never had that opportunity. So just having a bank account, just having a form of ID. You know, we're going to have a program at the end of NG1, and we wanted to bring a girl from Lagos, and she used her NIPSE ID to travel at the airport, and she was just so excited that there was something she could show, which she didn't have before the program. So activating local economic vitality, working within the existing structures and the community businesses that exist also is something that we're very proud of. Like I mentioned, we have over 190 employers across the 4 states that have supported our girls, either in their vocational skills training or even in acting as mentors for these girls to be able to move their business to the next level. We have business hubs of cooperatives that girls have formed, either with their Girl Fora or even beyond that will continue to exist and support these girls to jointly take their businesses forward. As a program, we have promoted over time gender equality and social inclusion, breaking gender stereotypes in work options, and supporting girls with disability. The last component of the program is sustainability, and I'm just going to talk about some of the results that we've had. We've engaged the government from the very beginning of this program, either as monitors at our learning centers or even as part of our co-content creators when we're developing the manuals, or even as part of the hub of strategy where we bounce our ideas and co-create the program with. Government have been actively engaged from the scratch to now, and so we are very happy about co-creating this change with various stakeholders which has ensured ownership of the results and commitment to even take engine forward and maintain the change that has been created. Engine actually prides itself in building a hub of local capacities, whether at the school level, the teachers we have trained and now training other teachers, the community stakeholders we've worked with over time, and now gender champions. They're able to promote gender equality in their community and in their space, or even at system level, whether it's with AME or with MNEC or with all the other partners that we've worked with. We are very proud of the fact that we have co-created this change. Engaging with the existing structure, so is another lesson that we have learned, rather than creating something new. When you work with what is already existing, you are very sure that even after your program, it will continue to exist. These are some of the beautiful achievements we had in our sustainability just because of this strategy of co-creating change. We have over 1,000 government teachers enrolled on the program who have improved their capacity and knowledge across our various thematic areas of learning transition and even protection. And these teachers have remained in the system, and because these are very passionate set of people, they will continue to use their skills to improve the lives of marginalized girls in Nigeria. We have specific states, Kano, Kaduna, and even in the FCT where our codes of conduct have been adopted, and this will be used in most. For example, in Kaduna, for example, our code of conduct will be used in Kano over 500 schools, and we worked in less than 100 schools. So we can see the scalability of this work because of this partnership. The Kano branch through the Kano State KSSMB board has modeled its over 150 million naira World Bank program after the engine program. So the engine strategies will be replicated in the World Bank project because they have seen that this works and because they've been part of this change in the last few years. The Lagos State Agency for Mass Education has adopted over the 100 learning centers that we have as government centers, and they will continue to maintain these centers for all the girls outside of engine to be able to be part of this learning process. Engine 2 code of conduct, this was the icing on our cake, and thanks to our partner Tabitha Kumi, NNEC adopted the Engine 2 code of conduct just when we are about to wrap up, and this is going to be replicated in the 36 states. It's a good place to start. Engine supported CVAP's Child and Vulnerable Adult Protection referral system, school charters, which are now state documents in Kano and Kaduna. Also, Kano and Kaduna have allocated specific time in their school timetable for teaching protection during their gender assemblies. Also, we have school-based management committees who have included Child and Vulnerable Adult Protection (CVAP) and school safety as part of their school development plans. We have 66 school development plans as we speak. And engine manual, this also is something we are really proud of, has been embedded in the CBN financial inclusion, financial literacy manual that they want to roll out in 36 states. These are and so many other things that time and space will not allow me to share, and some of the beautiful stories that have emanated from this project because of your support and because of those beautiful girls that are seated here. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to appreciate our engine girls one more time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. So, TCF, Tabitha Kumi Foundation, our mommy, today is her day. Today is her day. Today is her birthday. Please clap for her. A mommy with a golden heart. A mommy with a heart of giving, loving, and caring. We wish you many years more. Long life and prosperity. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Fatima. Who told you? Because I did everything to keep it under. Thank you. It's wonderful to be celebrated on the closeout of Engine 2. Engine 2 is a wonderful program that has impacted the lives of so many girls, far beyond the direct beneficiaries. In the FCT, we can testify to that. And that has been mainly due to the partnerships that we have had. We've had partnerships across government, stakeholders in government. In the FCT, we've worked a lot with the Education Secretariat. And I'm happy that this morning we have Director DME, we have the representative of UBEP, directors from UBEP, from SEB. Oh, I'm just seeing the representative of Education Secretariat there. So with their support and the support of a lot of private sector organizations, we were able to achieve all that was achieved on Engine 2. In the FCT, we had 1,883 direct beneficiaries, 140 facilitators, 56 learning centers, 113 learning sessions, and we had girls linked to 248 girls that were linked to vocational training institutes. We had 170 girls that were part of the Ovaltine value chain, 247 post-literacy graduates. What that means is that they graduated from their learning sessions. What we did was that they were based according to their learning capacity. So these post-literacy graduates were those who actually moved from the basic literacy to post-literacy. Then we had second chance education. We had 58 girls that were brought back to school. Girls who lost the opportunity of continuing their education because they were orphans, because of poverty, because of early marriages. And we had 103 girls who took JAM, 100 NECO, and we had 12 that had higher institution scholarships. 13 cooperatives were registered, 93 trade test certificates were issued, and grants and equipment to 63 girls. So these were our milestones for our 1,883 girls in the FCT. Now we have a lot of success stories. So many, Engine made a lot of impact in the lives of, not only in the lives of the girls, in the lives of their children, in their communities. Amazing impact. And we're going to be sharing a few of the stories, just a few of the stories this morning. We'll start with Fatima's story. Already, here you can, without telling the story, you can already see the testimony of Fatima's life. Her journey to a better future. Those are her daughters. Whenever she talks about her daughters, there's so much emotion. Because as a girl child, she stopped her education, but her brothers continued school. But she had to stop. And so, when she started having girls, she thought that, oh, is she going to, are they going to face the same predicaments that she faced? But her story is different because she encountered Engine 2. Now, Fatima today was not only able to go back to school, she's able to teach her daughters, as you can see there. And she says it that her daughters are not hopeless because she encountered Engine 2. Apart beyond that, Fatima has also become a peer mentor to other girls within her community. She's assertive, she's bold, she's confident, she's the president of the Creative Hub Cooperative. And all that she has learned from that, she's also training other girls within her community, apart from it improving her business. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, classes were stopped abruptly everywhere, all over the country. And we started meeting, we had to continue our teaching and learning. And we started, first of all, by retraining the facilitators. First of all, they were meeting with the girls, in small groups. And at a point where, and then one-on-one, but at a point where community transmission began of the COVID-19 virus, we had to resort to virtual means. And one of our findings was that while we were able to teach some girls through their telephones, first of all, text messages, and phone calls. Then WhatsApp platforms were set up. There were some girls that did not have access to phones, and we needed to reach them. And through the support of NMEC, we were able to leverage on the existing Literacy by Radio program to reach our girls, mostly basic learners that we wanted to reach who didn't have phones in the communities. The beautiful thing about Literacy by Radio, this adaptive teaching and learning approach, was that beyond the girls, it reached far many communities that were under the radio waves. And then apart from that, the curriculum is broad-based. It is so broad-based that anyone will benefit from it. One of the girls said she didn't even know anything about a passport until she listened to, because every lesson has, there are virtues that you learn in every lesson, there are words that you learn, and when they were talking about the letter P, talked of plateau, they would also talk about a state in the country, talk about plateau states, and then passports. And she said, oh, so she now knows that you need to have that document to travel. It was interesting that came from Literacy by Radio. We had community participation because we were not able to meet the girls directly, and so the primers were dropped at the chief's palaces, and the LCS will pick them from there and continue, learning with the girls. In the area of increased asset building skills, we had 18 cooperatives, registered cooperatives in the FCT. But the Creative Hub Cooperative was set up to give girls a second level training. This means that these girls were already in some form of business, enterprise, and they were given a second level training by ILO certified trainers. These girls, what you see in the hall this morning just shows you, gives you an idea of what the girls can do. These decorations were done by girls of the Creative Hub. So the souvenirs, wedding souvenirs, branded facial masks. In fact, their products have gone abroad because, yes, I always tell them that they're already exporting their products because they have been used in weddings, birthday ceremonies outside the shores of Nigeria. They've also been exposed to participating in exhibitions. And the beautiful thing about the Creative Hub is that we've enjoyed a lot of partnership with government, stakeholders in government, SMIDAN, Abuja Enterprise Agency. They've trained them in photography, financial literacy skills, different areas of training. And because it's a second level training, the girls' businesses have improved. And so they are also making more money from that area because their businesses are better than those of their peers in their communities. And some of them are also training other girls with the skills that they've acquired. One of our board of trustee members is one of their mentors. Sarah said. Sarah is an engine participant who lost her father early and had to drop out of school. She has a mother who is a petty trader who could not, sustain her education. As she began to receive financial training on Engine 2, she saved some money and she registered for her school cert exam. But Sarah has always had a desire to be a caterer. And she was able to get linked to internship in a very sophisticated restaurant, the Charcoal Grill. One of our trustees is also, the owner of Charcoal Grill. She's here also this morning. Now, with this internship, Sarah makes continental dishes. Yes. Everything, if you know charcoal grill, everything that's the kind of the level of the level of their cuisine and all whatever they're doing there, that is what Sarah is at that level. She's learned, she's diligent, and I mean she has a world open to her. She was also a benefit. She was also able to get some grants from Mexico on Engine 2 to establish, something for herself. So after the internship, she'll be able to apply all this knowledge that she has learned to income generation in her community. She can also work anywhere because of the exposure that she has got through this internship. She's really living her dreams and her life has changed completely. Also, one of our success stories is breaking gender barriers. And as you can see from that picture, this is a man giving a girl sanitary pads. The male involvement on menstrual hygiene management. There's nothing special about a woman telling another woman about menstrual hygiene management. But when a man becomes a champion for menstrual hygiene management, you know that, I mean, it's out of the ordinary. And this has come about by the training. He's an LCF, by the training, a guidance counselor, by the training on Engine 2. We were able to raise advocates, male advocates, sheroes, to support the girls. He was such a good, apart from being in the having the box in his custody, he was such a good teacher of menstrual hygiene management that even boys in the school became advocates for girls. Instead of laughing and shaming the girls when they see stains, they will cover them. There was a story of a boy that gave his cardigan to a girl to cover herself after the kind of exposure that they got, the awareness, through the gender assemblies. And this particular man in GSS Pape also trained other male colleagues. He began to train them about MHM. Improved gatekeeper commitment. One of our successes was also with our gender champions in the communities. We worked with gender champions in the communities who are domiciled in the communities, they are community-based, who were able to support the girls in their education. These were people, who were influencers within the community, and they were able to help to mobilize girls, motivate them, encourage them to continue learning. Now, for most of our out-of-school girls, they have children and they have families. Those who don't have children and families, most of them were heads of households. So, bringing about a balance between continuing their education and also their lives, they needed people like this to encourage them. Hajia Hadiza was so good that she increased attendance in Gwagwa community by 90%. She was a great motivator, and she remains one because she's there and she continues to do what she knows how to do, though her capacity has also been strengthened by Engine 2. Expanded protection policies and practices. So now we had, one of the beautiful things about Engine 2 was that, as we know, there's a lot of gender-based violence and girls are the worst, they're the most hit. And the awareness of child and vulnerable adult protection, awareness of their rights as girls, awareness of reporting mechanisms, awareness of response lines, it changed the lives of the girls. For some of them, even that awareness made them to break the silence and speak out and say, this, what you are talking about is exactly what I'm experiencing. Some of them were experiencing intimate partner violence and they were able to speak out about it. With the support of FIDA, our partners FIDA, we were also able to get justice for girls that were in abusive marriages and actually needed help. And many of them got their confidence back. They were able to talk about their fears. They were also able to support other girls. Our stakeholder engagement. Our stakeholder engagement, the importance of it cannot be overemphasized. Engine 2 was successful in the FCT particularly because of our stakeholder engagement. Being an education program, we had a lot of support from the Education Secretariat. We had, for the effective implementation of the program, because even at apart from the in-school girls, at the community level, we leveraged on the existing structures. Learning sessions were held in schools, in their classes. Apart from that, all the successes that we had for sustainability started right from the beginning with our state advisory group, the SAG, through which we were able to, find ways to implement the project. Every support that we needed was given by members of the state advisory group. It resulted in a very successful implementation of the project. But at the end, our big win was the code of conduct. We've talked about it today. The big one was the one with NMEC, because it transcends the engine states beyond Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, and the FCT. The code of conduct will be used for non-formal learners all over Nigeria. We have our Nogals president here, and they were also part of a lot of stakeholders. A lot of stakeholders supported this so that it will also have a wide reach. And also the UBEP code of conduct, of course, which will be used in the primary schools and junior secondary schools in the FCT. The primary schools and junior secondary schools in the FCT are over 700. Dr. Tama, yes. Over 700 schools will be using this code of conduct. And the CBAP manuals, the life skill manuals, will also be used in the schools. There's really so much to talk about, but you'll keep, hearing about it as the program goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's indeed a very big opportunity that even with the evidence that she was even born on the International Day, because in the International Day of the Girl Child, because she's just a mother that has the heart of young girls, and she really will go to any extent to make sure that we are supported and then we are not abused. All of us, all the engine girls participants also have our own story. Those were just few stories. I also have mine. Just like you just wake up one day and then you don't have dream of going back to school, and then somebody just came one day and told you that yes, you will go back to school. I was also one of the girls that wrote NECO, then got admission into College of Education with the numeracy and whatever, because many boys believe that girls cannot do well in mathematics and what have you. But with the numeracy that the Engine 2 had introduced to us, I was able to pick the challenge, and then I went for accounting just to prove to them that even girls can do well in it. And then by God's grace, even in my department, I was also elected as the financial secretary of the department. So just to feel to them that yes, even girls too can do more than even what people can imagine. Since it's our day, will the engine participants have a little playlet for you to watch? So let's put our hands together as we welcome them on stage.
My name is Ifeanyi Rita. I'm an engine participant from Chikakure community. And the title of our playlet this morning is Breaking the Silence. Thank you. Alice, what happened? Are you okay? Fine. You're fine. Looking like this. No, what happened?
Nothing, I'm fine.
Wait. Relax first. What happened? You're not looking bright. You're crying and telling me if I see your eye. What happened?
I see yours, I'm fine.
Okay, you can confide in me. Any problem, just tell me. I promise I won't tell anybody.
Okay, promise me that you will not tell anybody.
I promise you. What happened?
I'm tired. I even want to die.
What happened? You want to
If
die?
I tell anybody, I'm going to die.
Who is that one?
I want to die. I
Who
want
is
to
the
die.
person? Chill.
It's my uncle.
What
He's been
happened?
abusing me for the past 6 months. And
Kai.
anytime I refuse, he will beat me and still do it by force.
Kai, sorry.
Look at what he did to me 2 days ago. I'm
This is
tired.
serious.
I want to
You
die.
can't die, chill. Actually, I was once in your shoes.
Are you serious?
One was too much. I'm telling you the truth. My own was from one person to another. It was too much. But thank God to Engine 2. Mine was my daddy's best friend.
Are you serious?
Yes, my daddy's best friend abused me sexually. He abused me physically and emotionally. It was just too much. But thank God for Engine 2. When they came to our community, hey, I cannot thank them enough. When they came to our community, I started attending their learning sections. And when I went there, our facilitator was a very kind and wonderful woman. So she started teaching us about types of abuse and what to do when one is being abused. So when she told us that when one is being abused, we should report to a trusted adult. So what I did was that, I cannot tell my mother. She can insult somebody for Africa, from one insult to another. And when she started insulting that thing, I would just think of myself and think of what I would do if I tell her now. If she will start saying, stupid girl, I don't know how to keep yourself well. And it's not my fault. She will force me enter inside the room. As in, it was too much. It was even when I wanted to give me my body, then Kukuma kill me. Then that's when Inchi came to our community.
Are you serious?
My mom is so harsh. So when our facilitators told us about that thing, I now told her, because she's the only person I could trust. I told her, and immediately she consoled me. And when she consoled me, she told me that we are going immediately to my house.
Just like that?
I'm telling you. I was not afraid of my mother. What will she say? Immediately my facilitator was there approaching the house. I ran inside the room and locked the door. So when she came inside, mothers, how they used to talk to themselves when they start talking. The other one will calm the other one down. So when she just finished talking to my mom now called me out of the room and told me that I should come out. I was surprised. Think of our facilitators. When she came and told my mom everything, they rushed me fast, instant. It's not this one talk today, do tomorrow. Instantly.
Just like that.
I'm telling you, when she now took me, she took me to her chief. Each and already come to our community, they did an orientation on gender-based violence. And my chief already knows what to do when one is being abused and how to go about it. So he took me immediately to the police station. And when he took me to the police, he came back and called the 24 hours response number. And when he called them, they fastened my case up to court. Within 1 hour, my case was already processed in court. They took it to court. Thank God for FIDA. Those people can judge. Hey, lawyers, I'm telling you. They judge my case. Those women, they are too much. I don't want to be like them, in future. They judge my case instantly. I was so surprised. When I was in court, my heart was beating. So this man will not say something now that will make them turn. But those women, they stood their ground. And thank God, my stupid daddy's best friend was sentenced to jail.
That's it.
I was so happy. Thank God for those women. And thank God for the 24 hours response number. They give me psychosocial support that made me come out from that trauma. Because anytime I'm going to school, I will be afraid for anyone to come and touch me. So you will not do anything with me because I'm already half dead, walking on the road. But thank God, they supported me emotionally and I was so calm. But you know the 24 hours response number?
I've heard about them, but I don't have the number.
You need to know it too. So that when other girls in maybe another place now you don't have Inji 2, you can be able to tell them this number. Write it down: 070 67 11 1126. Write it again: 080 78 1126.
Thank you.
Good. So let me take you to a facilitator. So you start your matter fast.
Thank you very much.
So much for that wonderful playlist. Most parents tend to think as if abuse is just two types. Even when I was before engine 2, I thought abuse was just like two, just sexual abuse and then physical abuse. But when NG came, I learned that even emotional, you can abuse somebody emotionally. Then what is emotional abuse? Emotional abuse is when you insult somebody, when you make somebody feel as if you don't know what he or she is doing. Most of our parents, especially our mommies, are guilty of that. We tend to look at our children, stupid child, keep quiet, even when the child is even making sense, trying to report something that just happened to you, that she does not feel good about it. You just say, stupid child, you don't know how to keep your body. My friend, keep quiet, go and sit down there, and which is wrong. And it brings our self-esteem very, very low. Just like the way you watched on the playlist, she cannot even say anything to her mommy because her mom will just tell her, keep quiet and go and sit down. You don't know what you are saying. So I would like us to think and then help and always listen to all the children. Thank you.
Call Mrs. Oge and Fumi, communication team, for the documentary screening on Engine 2 Impact Stories. Please clap for them.
Youths were out of school in 2018, with girls being more at risk. UNICEF projects that 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is in Nigeria. Mercy Corps, an international relief and development agency,
Director, DNA. Please clap for her while she's coming to the stage.
Thank you very much, my namesake. I am equally Fatima Abdurrahman, the Director, FCT Department of Mass Education. All protocols respectfully observed. I feel highly honored and privileged to be part of this gracious occasion on the International Day of the Girl Child. To all of us, irrespective of the gender, but most especially for women and the girl child, we are proud to be girl child. And to even the males, you are proud to have us as mothers. So together, we shall promote girl child in the society. The story of Engine 2, when I came on board last year to the Department of Mass Education, was so interesting. I feel highly honored to be part of this program of Engine 2 and coming on board to meet Mercy Corps and Tabitha Komi already existing or partnering with us at the Department of Mass Education. It was a thing of joy to me because especially I am a lover of girl child education. I know what it means as a woman, a mother who have grown as a girl child and a northerner. I know what it means because there is education inequalities between the boy child and the girl child in the north. Those of you who are from the north, you know what I mean. For those of us who have attained this position, we thank God, and it's a thing of joy for us to have attained this position. When we look back at our contemporaries in our various villages, you know the level they are, and you know how you have been impacting on their lives. So thank God for being a girl child, for being a mother and a woman. And to the young girls, I want to encourage you to be confident, to be focused. Your situation in life should not deter you, but instead it should inspire you to be focused and achieve your aim in life. I'm very happy for Fatima, for Patience and others. Listening to their success story, this is the second time I will listen to them. And I made a promise here for them, that those of them who have their teaching qualification, please bring them to the Department of Mass Education so that we can engage them as our part-time facilitators, pending when we are going to get approval to engage them as full-time facilitators. But I've not heard from anybody. But I know I have engaged some of your facilitators to be part of us at the DME, at the Jurumi Women's Center. So I'm still looking forward for you to bring them forward for us to really engage them, because we need to encourage them, and so that they too can inspire others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma, for your support. Now we'll be calling on the stakeholders and the two participants for their experience sharing. The person of Miss Aleri Stanko. Let's put our hands together for her. And the VTI operator. Sorry, the master planner, Mrs. Fedikumi. So let's put master trainer. Let's put our hands together for her. The VTI operator, Madam Ramatu. Put your hands together for her. Okay. The House of Dinko. And Mr. Sunday, the gender champion. And the in-school girl. Please put your hands together for them.
Thank you very much. We are starting with the VTI operator, Madam Ramatu. Okay, thank you. As one of our VTI operator, what is your experience training the girls?
Thank you. I'm Ramatu, as introduced. the creative director of House of Dimple. We are a fashion house that doubles as a trading center. And we're one of those that were engaged to train the engine girls in skills acquisition sometime last year. Before we started the program, we were invited for a training program on child protection. For me, apart from just it assisting in handling the girls, it also helped me, to adopt many of the things we learned there at my facility. During the program, it helped in actually identifying, some of the girls that were having, certain challenges. One of the girls reported that the school with bruises on her arms. Asked her what the problem was and how she got the bruises. After explaining, I was able to identify that it was actually a case of abuse, which I reported to the engine team. They dealt with the issue to a logical conclusion. During the training, the girls, were always eager to learn. I observed that they were polite and well-mannered. They were quite supportive of each other. Whenever any of the girls, just like I think I observed here, that's it. Loving, giving, and caring. The girls had all those in them. They supported each other anytime any of them had any issues. You would see them rally around to support them and to support themselves in achieving what they came to achieve. And we could see that they were focused and believed that there were possibilities out there for them. They always attended class. They were always eager to be there and learn. And apart from training them, I also mentored them. They were very playful too. I remember quite a number of them in class who would play out and I said, okay, it's enough, let's continue with the training, And after the training, many of them still call, for support. When the pandemic started, one of them just called me one day, I want to produce face mask. And the face mask was, and she wants to sell that she can see people looking for face masks everywhere. Said, look, right on. And then I know a few of them have also gone ahead, to train further in fashion design. And they do call, a few of them do call in once in a while if they need help in one thing or another. And for me, it was a great experience, and I really, give it to Mercy Corps, Tabitha Gilman Foundation, and all those that are in the organization of this program.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please clap for her. Okay, the second person is Mr. Sunday, the gender champion. As a gender champion, what was the experience on the program in your community and now?
Thank you. My name is Sunday Akode. First and foremost, I want to thank the leadership of this program. It's a very valuable one. I serve formerly with the agency known as NAPTIP, Anti-Human Trafficking. I came into this program, to know this program immediately after the Engine 1 program in my community, that is Buhari, to be precisely Kogo village. I was selected to be one of the community action program there. Then, while the program was on, I believe with the support of the village head there, the program was so good and so supported, and I can say that the girls that was being achieved there, I mean the achievement through the program to the late NGO girls, what they have achieved so far were numerous. But to mention few, the education of a team, the enterprises and the entrepreneur that the program that we have been given, the ladies, in fact, as of today, I can say most of them were so proud of themselves, as in some of them that were unable initially to express themselves in the public, by now they can do so. But as somebody who have served with affirmation agency and the champion gender, we are proud and we are vowed that we will continue to support the girls on the game, the achievement on ground already. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please clap for me. Okay, the third person is the master trainer, Mrs. Ejikemi. As a master trainer, what was your experience on the program?
Thank you so much. I'm Fadike Abidjan. I teach at Government Secondary School, Buhari. A master trainer in 1992. It had been so awesome and so rewarding. When the program started, guests who are either too very timid, able to get their self-esteem and to speak up for their rights. And also, I discovered that as a teacher over the years, there are things within our classroom that we take things for granted. We often feel that we ask a child to kneel down or to stand in the class, others are there, that it's not form of abuse, but it's a higher form of abuse. You quickly it can affect that child negatively. Instead of improving on that child's performance, it can either lead to maybe making it to feel shy or low self-esteem. I also thought that as a teacher, we need to do what we call reflection, and should be an ongoing process. It's not enough to go to class and go there and teach. You need to find out whether you are actually delivering on your aim or your objective of the lesson or not, especially during the lesson. By looking at the students' expression, can determine whether they are actually getting what you are saying or not. And of course, the coaching that introduced by the NG program is a very rewarding one. Yes, where you, as a master trainer, you need to the LCA, that's the Learning Center Facilitators, to decide what and what they do in the classrooms. And you can rub maths and see which one is the best practice. And not only that, we're able to step down, not just for NG teachers, but for those on the larger system. We went back to school, so at least about 2 or 3 schools, we were able to step down what we learned on NG2 to other teachers that can also practice their normal classroom. And of course, on NG2, I discovered that the students, that most of them, when they started, they were not doing so well academically, but as time progresses, we saw a lot of improvement. And I think NG2 has impacted on me personally as a person. I've been teaching for years, but I learned a lot that was not learned in the formal school sector. But NG2, I thought I could improve my attitude towards my students in the classroom. So only you can be a good teacher without imparting knowledge. But NG2 taught me that it's not enough to just be a good teacher. You are able to impart knowledge is very, very important. And that's one of those things I learned in NG2. I want to say once again, thank you for NG2 for this opportunity. I'm not taking it for granted. I really learned a lot, and I'm sure others will. Thank you.
Please clap for her. Please give her a round of applause. If I want to be a teacher, I want to be a teacher, maybe someday. But how will I do it? I want to be a fashion designer and a teacher. I can do the two. I pray for that day. So, my fellow NG2 girls, how was life before ending and now. Meet Alheri Tanko from Oshafa community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alheri Tanko from Oshafa community. I am one of the participants from Oshafa community and beneficiary. Engine has helped me a lot. Engine helped me through my businesses. I am a fashion designer. I have 2 kids, 2 children, girls. Through my businesses, Engine bought a knitting machine for me and managing, and I have a shop. Through Engine, I can be able to pay my children's school fees and my younger ones and my mother. And again, Engine helped me through my learning session. I learned how to read. Before I don't know how to read, how to pronounce words, but now I can do that. Assignment, to do assignment for my children is a problem for me, but now I can do their assignment for them now. I can read and can write. Thank Engine. I thank Engine very much because they have helped me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alheri. Please clap for her. The second girl is Perpetua. Please, how was life before and now? Before Engine, how was life and now?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Perpetua from Government Secondary School, Salahaji. Well, before I became an Engine girl, right from Engine 1, life wasn't easy because me coming out to speak to my friends, like my peers, it was hard. I thought maybe if I speak and I make mistake, they'll laugh at me. And coming out to speak to others, like, so many faces, they will eat me up if I should come out to speak. So what will I do? I'll just zip up. I won't say anything. Even when they ask questions in the class, I'm like, I don't know even if I know the answer because I was scared of making mistakes. And becoming an Engine girl gave me the courage, the self-esteem. It gave me that hope that being a girl doesn't mean you have to relax, don't do anything. Being a girl means you have to fight for yourself. You have to be strong. You have to remove that myth and believe that girls can amount to nothing. So it's been very wonderful. Engine was able to pay for my WAEC and NECO. I had lost the hope of writing WAEC and NECO, but they gave me that hope back. So I'm very, very happy to be a member of Engine Girls. And thank you very much for giving me the privilege to become one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engine. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation, Fatih. Thank you, our participants. Let's put our hands together for them as they go back to their seats.